I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him. Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC. This giant is the baddest man on the planet. This powerful heavyweight is faster than the lightweights. His fights last only one round. That's exactly why the greatest fighter in UFC history, Jon Jones, got scared and retired. For 2 years, Jones avoided Aspinall and eventually ran off to Thailand to have fun, leaving his championship behind. But is Tom Aspinall really that terrifying of a fighter? Let's start from the very beginning. Tom Aspinall was born on April 11, 1993, in Leigh, Greater Manchester. Like many fighters, his father played a pivotal role in his life, becoming a role model and mentor. I couldn't imagine my life without combat sports. It has been in my life for as long as I can remember. Music. My dad, he used to work in it, but he retired from that years ago and then started teaching jiu-jitsu full-time. My dad is a former fighter himself. He's always been into martial arts and it's always been around. Even on my mom's side, they had fighters, boxers, and even if they weren't fighting professionally, they were all like scrappers and stuff anyway. So it's always been in my life. Tom's father, Eddie Aspinall, was one of the first black belts in Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the UK and introduced his son to the world of martial arts. Tom started to grapple when he was maybe 6 or 7. When he was about 10 or 11, he started to really enjoy it. And because I was teaching jiu-jitsu, he was a mat around, was with me every day. He'd done all the particular sports: jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling. Eddie opened his own gym and personally coached Tom. By the age of 10, Tom was already practicing wrestling and later branched out into boxing and Muay Thai. His success in BJJ mirrored his father's, as he won several prestigious tournaments. Eddie's reputation as a coach eventually led him to a position at the Liverpool gym Team Cowabon, where he agreed to train only under the condition that his 15-year-old son would also join. I first met Tom when he was 14-15. His dad would have come maybe second year. I opened and was looking to use a bit of math, but he's practiced a bit of jiu-jitsu with his friends, so we got talking to him, and then within a couple weeks was like, what might learn a bit of jiu-jitsu if do jump in and do a bit, and he says, I'll do your deal, then I'll teach you a little bit of jiu-jitsu if you coach my son. I was lucky enough to get him so young, so I was able to mold him into what I thought I'd like him to look like from my early days up. For me as well, about getting him fast, keeping him moving, getting angle game up, get him as agile and as quick as I could, and that's how I've trained him. So now I believe he's probably as fast as a welterweight. Operates in air. You can outspeed them, no problem. You can out gas tank them, no problem. So I think it's work. I think it's pay dividends. Remember the first time I had to sit down with somebody when it's 50 years, like, what is it you want to do? And just says straight away, I want to be in the UFC. So I guarantee I'll put you in the US if you just keep doing what I'm telling you to do. It was at Team Cowabon that Tom first became interested in MMA. Together with his father, they decided to take things slow, building experience through as many amateur bouts as possible. From his very first fights, Tom showcased the skills that would later captivate fans. Outstanding grappling and spectacular knockouts. Applause. Out of 9 amateur bouts, only 1 went the distance, with the rest ending within 2 minutes. As it became harder to find opponents at the amateur level, Tom made the decision to turn professional. The way that me, my dad, and Colin looked at it when I was fighting amateur was, we'll just take as many hard fights as Rick amateur to get the most experience we can. So I think out of 9 fights, I think 7 or 8 of the people I fought were unbeaten. In my 3rd amateur fight, I've also won 8-0 with 8 knockouts. I really enjoyed the amateur days, actually. Would have went to 50 fights if I could. Problem was with my amateur fights is I basically ran out of fighter. His star began to rise in December 2014 at an event MMA against the UK. There he debuted against Polish fighter Michał Piszczek, who held a record of 1-1. His opponent immediately went for a takedown, but Tom easily took control, secured a dominant position and forced a submission with elbow strikes. Music. Applause. 2 months later, Tom signed with the British organization BMA. His first opponent there was a young fighter, Ricky King, who looked more like a laborer than a professional athlete. Tom quickly took control of the fight, but King managed to clinch and throw Aspinall to the ground. Applause. Despite the difficult position, Tom turned the tables, catching his opponent in a submission. For this victory, he was awarded a brown belt in BJJ by his father, Tom Aspinall. With each fight, Tom gained momentum. He once knocked out an opponent in just 9 seconds and later faced a more experienced fighter, Stuart Austin. That bout was grueling. In the first round, Tom had to defend himself on the ground. Music. Applause. Music. Applause. Strike for no retreat. No rising sun. Strike for no retreat. Applause. But in the second he turned the fight around. Music. Applause. Music. But due to inexperience and the desire to finish off his opponent, Tom was caught in a submission. Applause. Music. Tom's first career loss became a valuable lesson. He took a break to reassess his approach and return to face debutant Adrian Rush. Despite his opponent's significant size advantage, Tom dominated, winning by technical knockout after pinning Rushjack in the corner. Looking for a greater challenge, Tom chose to fight a veteran, but the bout ended in disappointment when he was disqualified for illegal 12-6 elbow strikes. Determined to bounce back, he took on Kamil Balak, nicknamed Wanderlei. The Polish fighter, despite his underwhelming record of 3-7, tried to fight aggressively, but couldn't withstand Tom's precision strikes. The one-sided